So, you're finally thinking about buying your first home. Congratulations and condolences.
That's a good way to describe it because it's exciting, and then right after that, you're crying in your car. You really don't know what you're doing. You're going in it blind, and like you said, you're setting up the mortgage, you're paying your taxes, you got your hot water heater, rental. How does that work? And then you get all these bills every month. You got your heating bill, your gas bill, you got insurance.
You know, nobody teaches you also actually how to take care of a home. Like, that's just something you're just inherently supposed to know.
Yeah, it's kind of like having kids. They don't give you a manual for that either. You just got to know.
All right, so today we're going to be talking about the truth about buying your first home. We're going to talk about the mistakes you make, the wins you'll have, the downfalls, everything. We're going to break it down here for you so you don't have to make the same mistakes that we've all made.
Hi, my name's Daniel. I'm a broker owner of Dan Lee Group here in the Burlington, Oakville area.
I'm Sean, partner here at the Dan Lee Group in the exact same area he just mentioned, and we're here to talk about real estate.
Man, he sounds like a salesman.
That felt bad. That felt really bad.
So he definitely sounded like a salesman there. We're really trying to help people in the real estate endeavor. So the first topic we're going to talk about in this video now is going to be the dream versus the reality of buying your first home. So it starts with excitement. Definitely. You know, you're starting to look for that first home and it's exciting to go out there, and that's, you know, everything feels great. You know, that's how it starts. But, you know, what kind of really does happen when you're buying your first home?
Well, you sweat a lot. You're like, did I make the right decision? Was that the right house? Can I pull out of that offer before closing? And then when you realize your dream kitchen costs $900,000 and your Pinterest board is just wiped clean of everything you could imagine, and the only thing you can afford is a closet. It's very difficult.
So let's talk about the money part. You know, saving for a down payment in 2025 seems impossible.
Yes, you need to save, you need to budget. Maybe you could explain what the difference between saving and budgeting is.
Well, I mean, when you look at how hard it is to live these days with groceries, if you don't have a house, you're renting, you know, just the sheer cost of living, your transportation, there's a lot of money that has to be spent every month. So now you have to figure out, okay, how do I save for a down payment? So you have to budget that. So if you look at your income, whatever it might be, let's use even numbers because my mind works better with even numbers. If your family income is bringing in $10,000 a month, let's say, and you know you need $100,000 to save to put a down payment down, and you don't have anything, that's a lot of money you got to save now.
Yeah.
So realistically, is $3,000 a month realistic to save, making $10,000 family income? So let's say really are budgeting. So that budget, you know, now you have $7,000 left to live on. So now you have to budget the rest, your rent, your car, and you're going to have to sacrifice. If you really want a home and you want to save for it, you know, you can't have every streaming channel there is. You may not be able to have 2 cars, right? May not be able to take those expensive vacations. So it's going to be a give and take. So you got really 2 choices. Either you cut back on your expenses drastically and live a simpler life to save money, or you figure out a way to make more money. So as realtors, I think it's very important to understand that you have to do what's best for you, each person as a family. If you can't afford it, or if you can't figure out how to save, or you're stretching beyond your means, don't buy. Continue renting. The house is still going to be there. It might be 2-3 years later, even 5 years later. Set the plan. Time's there. Don't get into a situation you're going to regret. So I wouldn't buy unless you are definitely prepared to do so.
So let's talk about the bidding wars and market trends and what's happening. Obviously, we know that bidding wars are still a thing. We're still seeing properties get 5, 10 offers. It's very much a thing. It's just not the same as it was before.
Yeah, during COVID, definitely. It didn't matter what the house was. If it had a door and windows, it would get 20 offers and sell $200,000-$300,000 over asking.
Yeah, and now we're seeing that competitive offers are coming in. We're getting, 5 or 6, but it's not 100,000 over asking. It's 75, 50, and it's just to market value. That's all we're seeing. People are underlisting it for something that hasn't ever sold for that price in the neighborhood, and they're creating an irrational environment where people are providing their own market insight and bringing offers in that way. So it's not really something I would say that would deter me, or I wouldn't deter clients from going there because they're going to get an unrealistic situation where you're still very much dictating the process.
Yes. As a first-time buyer, don't let bidding wars scare you away, basically.
I couldn't agree more in this market because it's not like it was where it's a blank check and it's these astronomical new highs every month. It's more of like, okay, we have an established market trend in the neighborhood. This is what homes are selling for, but they want to test that and see if they can maybe, sellers trying to achieve a greater value for the property, and it's just not, it's not the market that happens in, but they'll still test it, and maybe they do, but most likely you'll just get market value for the property.
Yeah, and really that's the big thing that's happening today. When I look at this year alone, we've done multiple offers many times, been in the buy side of them. And our clients that got the house got it at asking, sometimes below asking, still had the financing condition, inspection condition. So it's very, very different now. So when you hear that there's multiple offers on a home, do not let that deter you from putting an offer in. Because you could wake up the next day and say, wow, I can't believe that sold for X. I would have paid that.
Yeah, it's very much worthwhile giving the property an opportunity. And the best part about this is, you don't have to buy it firm. You're getting the conditions, you're getting financing inspection. So you'll know within 5 days whether or not you made the right decision. Maybe the property has something that you didn't expect in the inspection report, but you have that safety net to always fall back on right now. We're human. We fall in love with something and we feel like, okay, somebody's paying more, I have to pay more for it because I really want this home. But at the end of the day, it's not worth it in this market to pay more than what a home's worth. So there will always be another home for you. You don't have to keep, upping your offer just because you feel like, I can't let this one slip. There's nothing else out there. There's always another home. There's always another opportunity.
Yeah, sometimes your plan B could be your dream home. So don't let that deter you. So let's talk about first-time buyers' mistakes. What's some of the problems do you think that people are having and that we got to look at?
I would say not setting a budget, not shopping around lenders.
Yep. We're in a totally different world now. Nobody just goes to the bank. So go to a mortgage broker, check your options.
Avoiding home inspections.
Yeah, that's something people fell into a few years back because they had to put firm offers in, but there's no reason not to put a home inspection in today.
Yeah.
So let's be honest. The market in 2025 is very unpredictable.
It really is. Rates went up, rates went down. They're still trending down, and people are asking, is it a good time to buy?
That's true, but waiting indefinitely can be bad too. You don't want to try and time the market.
Yeah, so you want to make sure that now is the right time to buy because you're ready, not because some TikTok trend told you that you're ready.
That's the point a lot of people forget. Owning a home or making that decision to buy is very, very personal. Each person has to make that decision.
And even in today's market, we're seeing that exact thing. People are still figuring out a way to buy. They're smarter, they're not overextending, they're making the right decisions, and that's the most important thing.
And really, that's the new mindset. It's flexibility. Like we mentioned earlier, you're not going to get your dream home first time around. So be flexible when you're buying. Think about what you're doing. Make sure it fits you personally and make that right decision. So you can get that starter home, build equity, and get to that dream home down the road for sure.
So to sum it up, buying your first home in 2025 isn't easy, but it isn't impossible either. The lesson? Be patient, be flexible. Don't let the process break you.
And get help. The right team can turn chaos into confidence.
Whether you're buying a home in Toronto, Milton, Guelph, wherever you're buying a home, there's always a way to.
And that's what we do every day. We help people through the process of buying their first home. We're like their Google Maps, as it were. They type in what they want, and we help them get there.
And at the end of the day, this isn't just about buying a property. This is about finding your place.
So if you are looking at buying your first home in 2025 or 2026, please feel free to reach out to us, whether you're a client or not. We'd love to share with you the process and what you need to do to avoid the pitfalls that could happen buying your first home.
And don't forget to like and subscribe.